The lion's deceitful groan. In the heart of the Sunstone Savannah, where the grasses grew as tall as a man and the acacia trees dotted the landscape like scattered emeralds, lived a magnificent lion named King Leopold. In his youth, his roar had been a thing of legend, a sound so powerful it could shake mangoes from the trees and send shivers down the spine of the bravest buffalo. His sun-gold mane was the envy of all, and his hunting prowess was unmatched. But the seasons, in their unceasing march, had stolen the thunder from his roar and the lightning from his pounce. Leopold was old. His once gleaming mane was now a tired tangle of gold and gray, his mighty limbs ached with every step, and his eyes, once as sharp as flint, were clouded and dim. He could no longer chase the swift gazelle or wrestle the powerful zebra. Hunger, a cruel and constant companion, gnawed at his belly. One sweltering afternoon, as he lay panting in the shade of a great baobab tree, a profound despair settled over him. "It cannot end like this," he rasped to himself, his voice a dry whisper. "I, who was king of all the savannah, cannot simply fade away into dust and bone from starvation. I must use the one tool that time has not yet taken from me, my cunning." He thought, and he schemed, the long, hot days bleeding into cool, starry nights. At last, as the moon rose full and white over the plains, a wicked and brilliant idea sparked in his mind. He would not hunt his prey. He would invite them to him. With a great groaning effort, he dragged himself back to his den, a cool, dark cave set deep into a rocky outcrop known as Leopard's Tor. He purposefully scuffed his paws in the dust, lay down in the deepest shadow, and began to practice a most pathetic and heart-wrenching moan. He mussed his mane to look feverish and let his head loll to one side as if he hadn't the strength to hold it up. His performance, he had to admit, was masterful. The next morning, the news spread like wildfire across the savannah. "Have you heard? King Leopold is terribly ill. He lies at death's door in his cave." The first to visit was Barnaby the badger, a kindly soul with a trusting heart. He waddled to the mouth of the cave, carrying a particularly juicy root. "Your Majesty," he called out nervously, "I heard you were unwell. I've brought you a little something to keep your strength up." From the darkness came a weak, frail voice. "Ah, Barnaby, my good friend, how very kind. But my old eyes are failing me. Come a little closer, won't you, so I can see you properly." Barnaby, with his heart filled with pity, shuffled inside. The entrance to the cave fell into shadow for a moment, and then all was quiet. Later that day, Willow, the warthog, came by with her children, all of them concerned for their old king. "Don't get too close, little ones," she warned, "but we must pay our respects." She called out her sympathies, and the same feeble voice invited her in. Foolishly, she entered, and the silence that followed was heavy and final. And so it went on. A succession of well-meaning animals, their hearts full of concern, made the fateful journey to the cave at Leopard's Tor. Each one vanished into the darkness, lured by the piteous groans of the deceitful lion. His plan was working perfectly, but as the old saying goes, evil is a weed that has but a short season. Now, living on the far side of the savannah was a fox named Ferdinand. Ferdinand had a handsome russet red coat, a twitching black nose that missed no scent, and eyes as bright and sharp as polished amber. He was known throughout the land not for his strength, but for his extraordinary cleverness. He observed everything and forgot nothing. When he heard the whispers of the king's sudden and severe illness and the subsequent disappearances of his neighbors, a seed of suspicion was planted in his mind. "It seems a bit sudden, and it's awfully strange that no one who visits ever comes back to tell us how the old king is faring," he mused to his reflection in a puddle. Deciding to investigate, Ferdinand trotted cautiously towards Leopard's Tor. He did not march up to the entrance, but instead circled it from a safe distance, his keen eyes scanning the ground. The dust around the cave was a veritable storybook, and Ferdinand was an expert reader. He saw the distinct, shuffling tracks of Barnaby the badger. He saw the cloven hoofprints of Willow the warthog and her young. He saw the delicate tracks of a young gazelle and the heavy tread of a wandering wildebeest. He saw them all, and he noticed one crucial, chilling detail. Every single set of footprints pointed in towards the cave. Not one, not a single scuff or track, pointed out. "Aha!" he whispered to himself, the fur on his neck bristling. "The puzzle is solved." He then confidently trotted to the mouth of the cave, ensuring he stayed well within the bright sunshine. "Your Majesty, King Leopold," he called out in a clear, respectful voice. "It is I, Ferdinand the Fox. I was so terribly sorry to hear of your ailment and have come to wish you a swift recovery." From the gloomy depths, the weak, trembling voice of the lion replied, "Ferdinand, my clever friend, thank you for your kind words. My throat is quite sore, and my voice is but a whisper. Please do come inside so we might speak properly." Ferdinand stayed exactly where he was, a knowing glint in his amber eyes. "Oh, I would love to come in, Your Majesty. Truly I would. You must forgive my hesitation, however. My eyes, you see, have noticed a curious thing. I can see many, many footprints leading into your royal den, but my sharp eyes cannot find a single one coming out. I would be a very foolish fox indeed to walk into a house with many doors for entering and none for leaving." There was a sudden, terrible silence from the cave. The weak moaning ceased. Then a furious, earth-shaking roar erupted from the darkness. A roar that was not weak or frail, but full of frustrated power and rage. Leopold's cover was blown. Ferdinand didn't need to hear another sound. He turned and raced back to the heart of the savannah, his tail held high. He gathered all the remaining animals and told them what he had seen and deduced. From that day on, no one went near the cave at Leopard's Tor, and the old wicked lion was left alone with his hunger and his deceit. The story of Ferdinand's wisdom became a lesson told to every young creature on the savannah. Always trust what you see over what you hear, and be sure to keep your eyes open, for it is better to be cautious and alive than to be trusting and eaten.